Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Duel video. P.U.N.K, a new archetype coming out in the OCG soon. So let's take a look, right? The regular monsters, the effect monsters, are actually quite good, but the biggest problem of the deck is that there aren't really any big plays you can do, and starting off your generic combos for the deck, you need a lot of investment, and that's currently the biggest problem of the deck. Again, I feel it's very similar to Prank Kits, but Prank Kits, when they were first released, were a bit better compared to this archetype. But the decklist on first sight might seem a bit strange. It is. Red layer is, I mean, you will see it in the replays, but the thing is currently first wave of support. P.U.N.K deck, it doesn't do much, so you need to find other engines, other cards. Red layer is there because it's like a generic level 5 monster, right? It's an easy level 8 synchro play because all of the low level P.U.N.K monsters are level 3, obviously, but they are also a tuner. And all of the low levels, they are good. One is a Stratos for monsters, one is like a spell searcher, one is a trap searcher. So, you know, that's pretty solid. If an archetype gets that, then that's pretty good. Problem is though, their in-themed spells aren't that great. I'm only running one, the continuous spell that kinda makes all of your P.U.N.K monsters a catastor, so that's decent. The traps on the other hand are quite okay. Currently they have one impermanence, it's this one, and they also have, I guess, a Raigeki break. Well, you know, pop a card from your opponent. So, you know, they are searchable, so that's good, but again, they're traps. So I want to have them in the deck to be searched, right? I don't want to draw into them or open with them. Unless, of course, you're going first. But as I mentioned before, the deck is quite weak to interruption because your combos are... well, there are 2-card combos, but most of the time it needs like 3 cards, maybe even 4 cards for the deck to do something right. So red layer I already explained, plus it could potentially be something like, you know, Helki Fibrex Father, even though this deck isn't really too much focused on Helki. It's okay, because as you saw, I'm running the level 7 Synchro Tuner in the extra, right, to be special summoned off of Helki, just in case if it gets negated, so it could give you the potential Synchro summon during your opponent's turn. So I guess the goal of the deck is to try to go for your fusion first. Your fusion, very similar to Prank Kits, it's basically a rescue rabbit. So tribute itself, special summon, for example, 2 P.U.N.K monsters from the deck. So you could search out their, you know, spell searcher, trap searcher, their Stratos for monsters, or, and that's the gimmick, I guess, they also have an effect, this one, that has the capability during your own turn. Pay 600 life points like all the other P.U.N.K monsters, or pretty much all of them, to use their effects, and then you can fusion summon. So it's basically a built-in polymerization effect, but, and that's the gimmick of the deck, it's that when it's on the field, during your opponent's turn, you can synchro summon, you know, using it, for example, with any other generic level 8 monster, non-tuner, to go for the archetype boss monster, and that's this one. They're level 11, which basically upon summon is a Mistworm, so you know, bounce back cards from your opponent, depending on how many different names of P.U.N.K monsters you have either on the field and or graveyard. So that's okay. So you could like a Mistworm during your opponent's turn. Plus, when it's like on the field during your own turn, you can monster reborn something. So again, that's okay, but that's not really the, as you see, right? It's not really the deck that has the capability to like, you know, some decks nowadays like pump out multiple negations. No, that's not the thing. The most standard generic field you can end with you know, without considering the Mech Knight support, red layer maybe, is the fusion, which, you know, just generic level 8, plus their level 3, which gives you the capability to synchro summon during your opponent's turn, and then, you know, interrupt plus a potential trap interruption, which you just searched, right? So that's basically one of the few combos this first wave can pump out, right? So again, I searched out other support cards. Red layer is there, I guess, to upgrade for synchro summons. Level 5, so you know that's quite convenient. Plus, you also saw Mech Knights, you know, a very small Magnite engine, a couple of reasons. First of all, it again gives the deck more punch. They're psychic types, which isn't that important because I'm not running Lambda, but they're level, oh, well, most of them. Purple is level 8, right? What's it called? I'm not too familiar with the names. The blade one, you know, the one that switches positions is also level 8, which again is quite convenient because level 3 and level 8 gives you the easy level 11 synchro, so that's cool. Plus is it Blue Sky? The blue one is level 5, so it's basically another level 5 monster to upgrade for a potential level 8 synchro play. So it's an underlying or support engine for the deck. Level 5, level 8, can put up the pressure on your opponent, opens up synchro plays, level 8, level 11, plus, you know, I guess it gives the deck some much needed support, right? So end phase during your opponent's turn, bounce back up to that many cards, right? And okay, another engine that I have in the main deck is the thing is that again, for now the archetype is heavily focused on fusion summoning, you know, fusion summoning their first boss monster, their fusion monster, and then tag out, right? Rescue that, use the effect. But okay, the archetype has its own monster that, you know, polymerizations upon summon, well, not upon summon, but as a monster effect. But that's not, you need other support cards, and Patchwork is there because there's a couple of uses. Patchwork on its own, it's searchable off of the, is it Edge Imp? And you know, Edge Imp also has the capability to, when it's like sent to the graveyard, I believe from the field or hand, you can search Patchwork. And one of the, currently there's only one high level P.U.N.K monster, the regular, this one, the level 8 one. It's basically a hero lift, so discard itself, plus another monster, and then special summon a P.U.N.K monster from the deck. So, you know, low level, not level 8. And then, you know, you can discard your what is it called, Edge Imp, search Patchwork, you know, it gets the ball rolling. So most of the time, again, the deck is pretty straightforward. Going first, going second, you're working yourself towards to the fusion. The fusion then tags out itself. Search, let's say, their Trap Searcher and Monster Searcher, or their, you know, Fusion Summoner, right? And then you can go from there. Your ending boards, for now, I feel should be a generic level 8 monster, which could be one of your Mech Knights, or this one, you know, the Chaos Ruler, which is also in here. And then, you know, your level 3 Tuner, which has the capability to synchro summon during an opponent's turn. And that's basically it. Right. So, well, but yeah, as I mentioned before, this is only the first wave of support. What is the deck missing? Well, the deck is first of all missing a very powerful boss monster, back some negation. Well, okay, the fusion is decent, their synchro is okay, but they need more. A Link one, maybe a Link 1, just like Prankets. Something that they might also get is maybe a field spell, right? Because currently their spells aren't that great. Give them a field spell that searches maybe a monster as well. A built-in polymerization, that could also be cute. They get, well, currently the traps are okay. A monster effect negation, an interruption, so those are good. But the spells for now aren't that great, so you know, a better spell is something like a field spell, a built-in polymerization, a searcher, just, you know, just like Invoked, right? Plus, you know, a better boss monster, or more boss monsters, not better, but, you know, more, just more. One fusion, maybe a Link 1, Link 2 maybe, because it's not, like as you see, it's not that hard to get more P.U.N.K monsters on the field, right? Okay, Helki is there, but it's not really, well, I rarely make it. It's there to either force out hand traps, or because again it searches another P.U.N.K from the deck, even though the effect is negated. But it could be used for a synchro summon, right? Or a fusion summon. But Helki on its own either forces out the hand trap, or could be a follow-up after your opponent already uses a hand trap, right? So that's why it's there. So these fields are, I guess, the fields you can make. There is a synchro, which currently it does nothing during your opponent's turn. If it just sits there, then I have this one, again, not too familiar with the names, but again, that's the one that gives me the opportunity to synchro summon during my opponent's turn, using this, the fusion, which again, the fusion during your opponent's turn doesn't really do anything as well. So again, that's the problem, right? You have that level 3 that gives you the opportunity to either fusion summon during your turn or synchro summon during your opponent's turn, but that's it. And miscellaneous obviously makes pretty much everything unaffected, and Tolka negates the monster effect, right? So that's an iffy one. The continuous spell is there. I mean, it kind of adds up to get those Mech Knights on the field. Plus, it's quite needed, but because it gives you, again, as I mentioned before, the continuous spell gives your P.U.N.K monsters the Cataster effect, right? So as soon as your opponent wants to attack them, they'll be destroyed. So you kind of need the protection. So the fusion is there, it will eventually be tagged out, yeah, for I guess the Trap Searcher and the Stratos, right? Yeah, that's the Stratos, so search out your level 8, again discard, and then special summon something from the deck, plus the Trap, and that should be the Impermanence, so the monster effect negator. Also, yeah, the level 8 also has the capability to like special summon itself, but you need to tribute a monster on the field. So again, it's basically a generic level 8 on the field as well, for the potential, like you see, the level 11 synchro play during your opponent's turn. Flip over, you can target any card from your opponent, either set or face up, but I believe you can only hit face ups if you have a P.U.N.K monster on your side of the field, right? Try to reborn something, that's the thing, so if your synchro survives, it doesn't really matter which card I drew. I mean, you can just reborn their Stratos and go from there, right? So, I guess recovering with the deck is okay, but the deck, at least starting after combos, it's a bit hard for now with the first wave of support. Those 3-card combos, and you know, and that most of the time is ending on not that big of a board, right? So I'm looking, the starting point of the archetype is there, because Stratos for monsters, spells, traps, that's solid. The level 8 is very good, but it needs more. It needs, let's say, a good field spell, a powerful negator, maybe a Link 1, a Link 2 maybe, easy to make, that supports the archetype a bit more, and then we can, you know, start off. But I mean, like always, it's just the first, you know, wave of support. So like always, feel free to leave suggestions, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Signing out. Peace.